Hey everyone, I'm David on Earth. I'm taking a little bit of time out of my hiking trip here just so I can show you a little bit about what I've done to improve my hammock system. So stick around. So I have a bridge hammock system, and the reason I have a bridge hammock system is because I sleep on my side, and I also move around quite a bit when I'm trying to sleep at night. So standard gathered end hammocks just don't do very well for me because they're pretty confining, and my shoulder gets numb when I'm sleeping on my side in that kind of hammock. So the bridge hammock kind of solves that, and I lay a little bit flatter in this one as well. I know you can lay diagonal in other kind of hammocks and you'll lay mostly flat in that, but because I move around a lot at night, that just presents a constant struggle for me. So I do bridge hammocks. But one of the things about bridge hammocks is that the spreader bars on the ends, the foot and the head end, they have these little knobs that stick out, and they tend to puncture your tarp. So I tried a few things to prevent that kind of thing from happening. The first thing I tried was I had some cloth that had a Velcro strip on it, and I would wrap that around each one of these ends, and that for the most part worked. It was a little clunky to use, and they were easy to lose, but they were really finicky. So I thought, this isn't a long-term solution. Let's find something more permanent. So I went over the Dutch Wear Gear, and they had something over there. And by the way, they make some really good hammock stuff. And they have these Banyan bridge bumpers. And you can see here there's a hole where you can slide the tip of your pole into that, and it'll protect it from hitting the side of your tarp. But they didn't fit mine. They were made for a specific spreader bar that has a certain width, a certain diameter of knob on the end. Well, mine were a little bit too small, so I didn't want to send them back. So what I did is I put a little bit of silicone sealant in there. I just made a really small coating on the inside of that, and that pretty much worked. But the problem I had with these is that they are really, really easy to lose. They just kind of fit on the end, and because they're not a perfect fit for mine, they could easily fall off and I could lose them, and they're so dinky. What do you do with these things? So what I did is I drilled a small hole, and I attached a small little piece of cord on this thing, and I attached it permanently to my dog bones. And that seemed to work okay. But then the more I was playing with it, the more I was using it, the more I realized that they just don't fit. Even with that silicone in there, I was worried that it was just going to fall off, and they did from time to time. So anyway, they weren't made for my spreader bars anyway. But if you have ones that will fit this, I think they'll work perfectly. Except, and I would say put a little piece of cord on there just to keep you from losing them. If you're like me, you're going to lose small things. So again, this was not a permanent solution. I went out looking again, and I think I found the solution over at Nama Gear. They have what's called a pole guards. Let me show you one in action. You can see how, and this is my pole here, and I'll explain that in a minute. But these are the pole guards, and they fit. You see the dog bones here. They wrap around. It has kind of a washer, a bigger metal piece here, and it fits in the hole that was designed for your spreader bars, and it doesn't fall off, and you're not going to lose it because it's there kind of permanently. They fit pretty snug in there, and you don't have to you never have to take them off, so you're not going to lose them. And it has a nice surface area here. Now for a set of 4 of them, they cost about 20 bucks. Now you can use these with your standard spreader bars, but there's another option here that you could use, is that you can use monopod trekking poles. So the monopod poles that I have are made by Cascade Mountain Gear. Now, this is probably the simplest way is just let me show you this. Let me demonstrate how this is used. And I think by using these poles, you will appreciate that you don't have to carry your spreader bars with you. You can just use your trekking poles. Okay, so here's the pole tip end of this thing. So you just slip the tip into there. Now on the handle end of the pole, same kind of thing. Tighten up your pole. And there you go. Okay, my apologies for the different shooting locations. My life just gets busy and I don't get to complete some things when I want to, so. Do you know what that's like? So to review, let's look over some of the benefits of using these pole guards. So the first and probably biggest benefit is that you're not puncturing your tarp. Also over the years, you're going to notice that there's going to be a little wear and tear on where you put your spreader bars through this little loop here. Using one of these puts all the wear and tear on these metal pieces, which of course there won't be any. So you can save a little wear and tear on your loops. Another great benefit to these is that they are always attached. So where I store my little hammock, they just get tucked away in there and they're not coming out, they're not coming off. They're kind of almost permanently attached here. So you're not going to lose them and they're always at the ready. And like I showed you, you can use these both with your spreader bars and your trekking poles, your monopod trekking poles. And if you have those monopod trekking poles, you don't have to carry the weight of your spreader bars. And then lastly, these will work both with the carbon fiber version of spreader bars, and those were demonstrated in the video, or if you have the standard spreader bars, these will work with those as well. So they're kind of universal. All right, so those are the benefits of using the pole guards from Namagear. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk about today is that I went back to an ultralight suspension system for my hammock. It's the Beckett hitch kit from the Myers Tech Hammock Lab. Now I used this for a few years, then I went and played with some other suspension systems, and now I'm back to this, mostly because it just works. It's quick, it's easy, it's ultralight, and it has no hardware to mess with. So I thought, why a Beckett hitch? Well, a Beckett hitch is designed to attach a rope to a loop. And basically, what do you have with a hammock, right? On the hammock end, you have this loop. Either it's already there or you place one there. And then you have this tree strap that you have to attach to it. So it's the perfect knot for a hammock suspension system. So the kit weighs just 4.4 ounces, and here's what it includes. So it has two 15-foot straps that are made with 3,400 pound tensile strength, super lightweight Dyneema fabric. Now these are not super wide, but they're wide enough to not damage trees. And then it comes with two Evo loops with button knots on the end. Now this replaces hardware like a carabiner, which can damage trees, and they weigh much less. It also comes with a universal loop, which is actually a double loop. One end you connect to your hammock, and the other end is used for a quick release. Now you could use whatever loop you may have already attached to your hammock, but the benefit of using this double loop is that the extra loop on the end allows for an easy Beckett hitch release, and I'll demonstrate here in a few minutes. Now here's how you use the Evo loop to attach this to a tree. And here's how you attach it to the hammock end. Notice that this has a quick release by just pulling on the loose end of the Beckett hitch. And if it gets super tight, you can use the small loop on the universal loop end to help you release it. Okay, so that is the simple Myers Beckett hitch loop system here. Super ultra light, no hardware, all the benefits I've already explained. I really like this. I just keep going back to it because, again, it just works great. Now I have links down below if you're interested in any of this stuff. Now this video was not sponsored by any of these companies. It's just good stuff that I want to show you. So now I'm gonna go live like I want it. I hope you do too. All right, I'll see you on the trail. Hey, this is David on Earth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And go to the website for some deals on gear. All right, see you on the trail.